Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're going to talk about zombies. Yesterday was the pre-release, and I was fortunate enough to pull a Scarab God. I didn't get any black or blue cards to support it in my seal pool, but I didn't really care because, hey, I got a Scarab God. Anyway, zombies. That's kind of what I mean. I actually already had the deck kind of pre-built except for some of the cards, and I traded for some of the uncommons and stuff that I needed, and I was able to play it last night after the main event was done. We played some EDH, and this thing is sick. Anyway, let's start with the zombies first. Obviously, what I did was we're just going to try to go wide with zombies. And zombies is one of the few tribes that, somebody board wipes it, don't really care, because being in the graveyard is a lot like being in your hand, unless somebody nukes your graveyard, which I guess you stand the same chance of somebody nuking your hand as you do your graveyard. So 6 of one, half dozen the other. First thing I want to get to is, of course, the zombie champions, if you will. For years, we've used the term champion to say a creature that buffs his creature type. They all get +1/+1, and, when they die, they lose life. Death Baron, another +1/+1, and Death Touch. Cemetery Reaper, another +1, and, makes tokens. Risen Executioner, another +1, and, you can bring this guy back from the dead. Albeit, sometimes he's a little expensive. Late game, EDH, doesn't really matter. Undead War Chief, cheaper and bigger. Lord of the Undead, bigger and, oh my gosh, regrow them. Lord of the Accursed. Now, Zombie Master is the first one. He is now, the current wording on him is he is a zombie, but he says other zombies gain Swamp Walk, because the intention was for them to never work on themselves, which I get. And they regenerate. Now, a lot of the new board wipes and things in the past couple years have lost that cannot regenerate clause, which is cool. So a lot of the ones that are actually out there right now, Day of Judgment was like the first one that went big, but regeneration matters now. Now, there's a few cards I have in here just because they're blue-black and they're zombies, and where the hell else am I going to play them? More importantly, I think the first zombie I put in the deck was the Drowned. Ladies and gentlemen, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first blue zombie ever printed in the dark. Pulled these back from the dark, and it was actually not bad. Well, back then, everything hated on regeneration. You had Incinerate run around and everything. But this is not bad. The regeneration, yeah. And, look at him. I wonder if he's going to get a... Well, I haven't checked the gather to see what his class is. I'd love it if he was a pirate zombie. Oh, it'd be great. Now, have the Gravedigger, which is kind of a good standby. Gisa and Giraffe. I'm telling you, the ability to cast zombies from your graveyard. It's a beautiful thing. The Gravecrawler is kind of blurry, to be honest with you. Some of these are... Let me see if I can't fix this. That's a little better. Fleshbag Marauder is probably the best way to get rid of the untargetable, indestructible things. When you can kill everything else, and they have that one creature left, bam. This is what you do. Prized Amalgam. I love this deck because I haven't actually built the blue-black zombies before, so a lot of these cards were untouched. I'll get to Gisa and Giraffe eventually, but Soulless one's a good old standby because, I think this may be one of the better of that cycle because it counts in play and in graveyards. All the rest just count from play, so Noxious Ghoul. Hey, you want to kill some zombies? I'll just play more, and then I'll kill all the non-zombie things. Here again, it gets a +1/+1 counter for each dead zombie. We have Grim Grin. Amazing. Dread Wanderer. I'm just going to blow through some of these that are... There's a lot of zombies. There's actually a lot of good quality zombies. Now, Haven Gold Lich is a card that I mean, it's really good. I like it. Unbreathing Horde saw play last night, and I'm getting mighty close to this camera, so we're going to... There. Now, I've got Clone in there just because, I mean, it's blue, and if you can clone a champion creature, sweet. A lot of times they're, nasty Eldrazi running around. There's something your opponent you may want to clone. Gem Palm Polluter. Now, this looks like a creature, but I promise you it's not. I don't know that I have ever cast a Gem Palm Polluter as a creature. This is a 2-mana instant that removes target player from the game. This is exactly what it is. Now, Graveborn Muse is really, really hard to be responsible with. I actually had this in my hand last night, and I looked at it and I was like, because I wasn't having a problem with not having enough cards in hand. I guess because of the board state and we were drawing some extras, not off of my cards, but it does need to be in there for the time when you are just running your hand out. But Graveborn Muse is amazing. Graveborn Sovereign, you just, at the end of your opponent's turn, when it's right before yours, you just tap your 5 little token dudes, and you're going to go get their dead guy and put it into play. Now, artifact-wise, I have just the 5 Dimir Mana Rocks to help kind of smooth out. I am running the Death's Majesty because, kind of wouldn't be a zombie deck without a Lily. And, I love all of her abilities are zombie-ish, so that's cool. Now, Rooftop Storm is kind of mentally where the deck started. As soon as I saw the Scarab God, I went, oh my god, another deck I can play Rooftop Storm in. Because playing zombies for free seems really good. By the way, I checked last night, just on a full price of this. Like the regular one's $1, and I think the full one is like $6 or $7. It's a hell of a multiplier. Anyway, I think this card will go up simply because the Scarab God is going to put so many decks out there. Everybody's going to want to build it, and this is the first card people are going to want. I'm almost certain. Coastal Piracy is... it's decent, but I'm not sold on it. As I get better zombie cards or cards I like better, this might get replaced. Now, granted, it's not bad, but a lot of times it's an awful like you spend your 4 mana and you put a card on the board and you don't really get nothing out of it that turn. I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Now, Paradox Haze. Okay. Well, let's go back for a second. Get in there. Paradox Haze gives a player another upkeep. We skipped right past the Scarab God, or I did. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. Uh, his ability. At the beginning of your upkeep, your opponent loses life equal to the number of zombies. You scry that many. Wow. So the paradox haze, is that what it is? Is it paradox haze? Yeah, it's going to give you a double upkeep. Now, y'all know I've been using this with Jorah to take off 2 time counters a turn and all kinds of cool stuff. I've used it to give people to give my opponents double upkeeps if they're underneath like a Black Vice or something. But to give yourself a double upkeep to get this ability twice, because last night, here's how it went. During my upkeep, all y'all lose 8. I'm a scry 8. Now, if I'd have had that haze, which I never drew, do it again, it don't take that long. I mean, you honestly, totally, I was in a position to where I did not have to really swing that much because just multiplying the zombies, and the only thing I had to worry about killing was flyers, because, zombies don't fly. I really need an Eldrazi monument for this Joker because I'll feed it to make them indestructible and flying and, oh, God. Of course, I need about, 58 Eldrazi monuments. Anyway, Liliana's Mastery. Make some dudes, make some bigger. Kind of another champion type card that doesn't die to the wrath. The Graph Harvest. Zombies have menace. I kind of stopped reading after that because it's ridiculous. Endless Ranks of the Dead. Another card that's just going to, and here again, this is a Paradox Haze card. You get double upkeeps. Man, you're just going to keep getting them zombies. Call the Grave. If you ain't zombies, I don't care. Playing with Never to Return. I like the targeted removal up top because there are some things you just can't deal with. Kind of wish it exiled it, but that would be a little strong. Nah. I also like the fact that the Aftermath is you exile a card, not a creature. It can be a card. So you can get that combo piece that they got. Now, I drew this 9 mana card last night because y'all know that's how I feel about it. And I was dead set on my +1/+1 Death Touch guy. That's what I was like. That's the plan. That's the plan. I'm going to get 5 more copies of him. Then my opponent played an Eldrazi. And I was like, you know what? That 10-9 Annihilator 2 guys, I'd like to have 5 of them as well. That'd be cool. But it never happened because I won before I could get 9 mana. Yeah. Moan of the Unhallowed. I almost count this as a creature spell because you're getting 4 zombies. Stir the Sands. You're getting 3. Dark Salvation. I like this that says target player, and I don't like it at the same time. Because there's a lot of deflection type cards. Now, granted, not a lot of people play them. I may be the only one because nothing's cooler than somebody tapping out for a giant stream of life. Well, I say that, but who the hell does that anymore? Anyway, and somebody going, no, I think I'm going to get those zombies. But it puts a shit ton of zombies in play, and that's why it's in there. A lot like the zombie apocalypse. Now, destroys all humans is kind of almost never going to matter. What are you going to kill? 2 or 3 dudes? But the better than living death part that's just personal is a beautiful thing. Speaking of living death, I had to put living death in here just based out of flavor because, hey, it's zombie. And a lot of times, this swings wildly in your favor. Speaking of flavor, Zombify Had to have Zombify in the zombie deck. Diabolic Tutors, of course, is a good staple. Rise from the Grave. A lot of people don't realize that Rise from the Grave actually makes the creature a zombie. So you can steal whatever's in your opponent's dead yard, and it's now a zombie and gets all your buffs. And, you know, Siphon Mine, I played last night. I spent 4 mana, and I drew 3 cards, and it was a beautiful thing. It was a better than than Harmonize, because everybody had to discard one. Army of the Damned for when you absolutely positively have to have 13 zombies. Or 26, or whatever. Hour of Eternity, I traded for last night. Yeah, this is another one I'm not particularly crazy about. Double X and Triple Blue is a hell of a cost. Man, that's a lot of mana. But this is not one that you're running out there, you know, crazy early. This is a late game pool that you need to swing the game in your favor kind of thing. Ghoul's Fate. Great pump spell. Factor Fiction works well simply because, you know, don't really care if they're in my hand or in my graveyard. It's pretty much the same way. Tragic Slip, you know things are dying, so you can kill that Emrakul. Feeding Frenzy also kills that Emrakul. Or anything that can be targeted. You know, it's going to die. And then Hour of Glory. Here's another one that's only in there simply because it was in the set. I got it last night. Typically, the only gods that we play with at EDH are your generals, and, you know, that beyond the first 3 words, it's a 4-mana murder. You can exile the Problem Child if it's a combo piece, but more than likely it's their general, and they're just going to recast it again. But so, Hour of Glory, not that amazing for EDH, but I got it. It was in the flavor, and I was like, sure, why not? It wasn't all the way in the flavor because it doesn't do a damn thing with zombies. Anyway, I've been rambling about zombies too long. Had a blast pre-release. Hope y'all did too. But that's all I got for right now. We appreciate you watching. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.